Thursday. Today's Thursday. Good morning. Today is Thursday, October 15th, 2020. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Qigong. I had to cancel class yesterday because I did something to my hip. And it's better. It's not 100%. I know what I did. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but first we're going to practice, and then we'll see how far I get. And when I need to take a break, I'm going to sit down and I'll talk about that, my discovery of what I did, how I did it, etc., because it's important to understand, and I've said this multiple times before, it's important to understand what you're doing, generally, and it's really, really, really important to understand what you're doing if you get injured, if you do something that you probably shouldn't have done. Alright, so the short version, I did something last week that I remembered clearly. I have very good muscle memory, and I remembered it. Unfortunately, my muscles remembered how to do something that they were in condition to do 20 years ago. Oops! They're not in condition to do that movement right now. They're not. So, anyway, I will put this down. We have some nice music that we can use, and I'm going to put that on. We'll practice. Okay, yeah. So one of the things that you see today for me is that my movements will be smaller than I might normally do. Yeah, oh well. Alright, so feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head, back way. The head should be level and relaxed. The chin tucks in just a little tiny bit. Tip of the tongue touches the roof of the mouth. Toes grip the floor just a little bit. Good body alignment. Okay, and remember that I'm going to be doing minimal movement today. Ladies, right hand on the outside. Gentlemen, left hand on the outside. Both lao gong connect to each other and to the lower Tantian. Breathe in. Move up to the middle Tantian. And breathe out. Bend the knees. Yes, my knees are bending. Barely. I'm doing small movements today, alright? And breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Two more. Breathe in. And breathe out. separate. Down along both sides. Press down. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels slightly and lower. And breathe in. Breathe out, pushing the mountain. Again. My movements today are extremely small. Breathe out. Breathe in, palms up. Open the labrum. Press out. Pull back with the index finger just a little bit. Breathe in. Transfer that intent to the second finger, the heart channel. Pull in. And press down. Yes, my knees are bending. You probably can't see them, but they are. And breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Forward, keep the back straight. Focus on the alignment between the bihui and the huiyin. Two more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hands pressed down along both sides. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels slightly and lower. I'm going to try one more. Breathe in. There's a question in my mind about this. So breathe out. Breathe in. Wild goose flying. And no, my arms are not going up where they should. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bend the knees. Sink. Breathe in. Rise up. And lower. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Last time, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in one more time. Palms up. Press down along both sides. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. And lower. Let's keep going. Left side, right side. Remember, I'm going to keep reminding throughout all of this, my movements are extremely small today. And I'm going to talk about that in connection with some anatomy here in just a minute. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Palms up. Diagonal flying. Press down. Turn to left. Up. And down. Come back to center. Shift left, turn right. Come up. And down. Center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let the breath permeate and drive the movement. Two more. Sink, exhale, Inhale, breathe in, rise. Exhale, lower. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last time. And breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hands down along both sides. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. And lower. Keep going. Breathe in. Palms up. Breathe out. Palms down. Breathe in. Palms up. Palms supporting heaven. Palms turn over. Press up. No, I'm not going all the way up there. And turn the left. And right. And left. And right. And center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Press up. Breathe out. Turn left. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Two more. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 Breathe in one more time. Hands down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Breathe out. And lower the heels. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here for just a minute because I need to sit down. And I'm moving. Yeah, I'm not moving so good right now. Anyway, so one of the things that I talked about yesterday, and I talked about this with the okay. Once I get here, it's all right. Mostly. So one of the things that I have talked about extensively with everything that I've taught in all in practice is this concept of paying attention to what you're doing. It's not a trivial thing. It sounds trivial, it's not. In paying attention to what you're doing, you need to be paying attention to what your body is doing, as well as what you want it to do. Okay? So, for me, what happened was that I have very good muscle memory. My muscles remembered something that I was able to do pretty well, actually, about 20 years ago. They were not prepared to do that. I asked my body to do something that it wasn't prepared to do. And it cooperated with me. I told it, you're doing this. It did. It's on video from last week. The Qigong set, Red Phoenix Flies into the Sun. That one. Alright, so part of what I need to do, how to fix it, right? So I'm complaining about this from now until, 2050 something, or until whenever. It ain't going to help. What's going to help is, how do I fix it? What do I do that is not only going to take care of the problem that I have now, which I don't really want, and, more importantly, prevent it from happening again. So what have I done? With this exercise, I used all, and we can talk about what all means. And I'm going to reach for this book over here, but it's going to take me a second to get there. I have used all of my abdominal muscles. And I used them in a way that I knew what to tell them to do. I knew what I wanted, so I told them, this is what you're going to do. And they did. And I didn't prepare them for that. Oopsie. So, I think one analogy, I'm reaching for the book over here. One analogy might be that, let's say a runner who has capability and has been running for some time, several years, regularly runs a 5-mile, 10-mile run, okay? I personally cannot do that, but there are lots of people who can, okay? So this person goes out and they do their 5-10 mile run, and then they decide, I'm going to go do this 25-mile marathon, and I'm going to win. Yeah. There's a pretty fair chance, depending on that person's determination, that they will finish the race. Winning, probably not, because they didn't train for it. Alright? And when they get done, they're going to be sore and not able to, they're going to just want to sit in a hot tub for a week. I know what that feels like. I do know what that feels like, alright? So part of what happened with me right now is that I went up and did something, and it felt really, really good while I was doing it. And it shows in the video. It shows in the video that I felt really good while I was doing it, right? But what happened was that I had not been doing the sit-ups that I was doing when I first learned how to do Red Phoenix Flies in the Sun. I was not doing any of the leg work that I was doing at that time. Haven't been. So the demand that I made on my abdominal muscles was based on what I was doing 20 years ago. Okay? I remembered it pretty clearly. My muscles, I told my muscles to say, hey, this is what I remember, do this. And they did. And here I am. Hi. Okay, so this is Grey's Anatomy. This is not a TV show. This is the actual real deal, Grey's Anatomy. Lots of illustrations, lots of highly detailed technical anatomy. This is written as surgical anatomy. All right. So as we look through at some of these illustrations, this is a diagram of the upper leg and the veins in the leg. I believe. Could be the arm. I can't see. Brachial, it's arm. Okay, sorry. At any rate, looked up what I needed to know and have put that back into how do I practice and at the same time not complicate the injury any further, right? That is I need to sit down, right? I'm okay right now. I'm straight, I'm not leaning, everything's good. It's also this idea of small movement in all of the internal arts, all of them. Everything that I practiced, and I practiced a few. Particularly with Qigong, we have the concept of small internal movement. So somebody who's looking from the outside, who doesn't understand what's going on internally, who doesn't know, right? And who has not been trained to be able to see it, won't. It'll seem like there's nothing going on. You're not doing anything. You're standing there. Which is why I called out several times, my movements today are very, very small. We're going to do again, I'm going to do push, and I'm going to do closer to the camera. My hip is still bothering me, but you'll get the idea from what you'll understand a lot more about what I'm talking about if I can be a little bit closer to the camera than standing further away, just for this particular set. I also talked about this idea a couple of times. I've talked about muscle memory. Where does muscle memory come from? It comes from practice. It comes from repetition. Okay? So, in my younger days, and to this day, if I'm trying to learn something new or to recover something that I had previously learned, I rely on my muscle memory. My muscles know what I'm supposed to do because I've practiced it over and over and over and over and over, and I'm going to keep going over again. This is the same technique that pretty much any performer uses, particularly for dance and in some part for theater, as well as for any of the martial arts forms. Repeat it and repeat it again. And each time, pay strict, not special, strict. Special attention says I'm paying attention to a lot of things. I'm going to look over here from time to time. This is what I want to pay special attention to today. But I'm going to pay attention to everything. Strict attention says I'm going to pay attention to these things only, period. So I'm going to pay strict attention to exactly what hurts the most as I'm going through the movements. Okay, this is something that my ballet teacher, Miss Titania Dukadovska, the Russian school. She danced with the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, and I was fortunate to have studied with her. She taught that you will learn to love your pain. She would stand, small lady, extremely powerful in her abilities. She would stand in front and talk about how during the exercise you may feel some pain, and that is going to help you learn how to do the exercise. She was right. She was absolutely right. So what happens with muscle memory is, as you've gotten in touch with those muscles, as you know what muscle groups you're working, okay, you can't, anatomy, whether you use this book or whether you use a different book, you cannot do any of this if you do not understand your fundamental anatomy and physiology. You can't. So, which muscle groups am I using? What do I need to use to do this movement? What are the muscle groups that need to support the muscles that I need to do this movement? What are the muscle groups that can be at rest? Mostly, they're just supporting, they're holding. They just there. They're not actually involved so much as being part of. So right now, my back is holding. It's not part of anything that I'm doing. It's just there. I've kept my shoulders pretty much contained. My arms are moving, but you noticed in the exercise my shoulders aren't going up. There's arms are only going so far. Okay, this is my back staying still. I've talked about that as well. Being still, one part moves, all parts move, one part still, all parts are still. So this whole concept of which muscle groups am I using, which muscle groups are supporting those muscle groups, which muscle groups can rest, and how am I directing the energy, through my body to complete those movements. What am I doing, right? If I'm doing the movement fully open, I'm not doing that right now, all right? You've seen me do that, right? It's the whole body. The whole body can still work and pretty much remain still. So as I was moving, we're doing this last move. You see my whole body's pretty much moving. I'm also keeping several sections of my back very still. The control for our limbs, arms and legs, comes from the back. As we do certain movements, more often than not, the muscle strain won't necessarily be on, particularly for me, the muscle strain won't be on the limbs, legs, arms. You're not going to strain that all that much. Everything works from the center. Everything extends from the back. So that's what we get. All right. Now, I mentioned this concept of, and I'm going to do this push in just a second. And it's going to take me a minute to get up. I mentioned this concept of being in condition to do what I remember that I could do. All right. So as I recover from this, and recovery is happening pretty quick. I spent yesterday resting. I'm going to spend most of today resting, not doing anything that I don't need to do. I will address how I feel tomorrow for what we're going to do in class. But the point is that my recovery will be quick. All right. I don't like not being able to do what I want to do. I don't like it. So when something happens, I'm going to focus my energy on taking care of that so that I'm not going to be limited. Right? Again, with this idea that there are things that I know how to do that I didn't do, right? I'm going to teach those, right? As I recover from this, I will be teaching there's a set of sit-ups and there's a floor work set. I've given it with, earlier on in the year, I gave some of it with the morning stretch that I was doing. It's recorded. I don't believe that I've given this particular set of sit-ups, so just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to do this facing a camera. So I'm going to start by going to my right side. You're going to go to your left. We're going to do push. And with this idea that, and I'm straightening my collar because I can see it and it bothers me. So with this idea that I'm doing these really small movements, pay more attention. And again, I'm not sure how much of this you can see. Pay more attention to what I'm doing with my middle dantian and my lower dantian. All right? You're going to start to your left. I'm going to start to my right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn right. And push. Pull in. Center. Breathe in. Turn. Push. Pull in. Center. Press down. And turn. Push. Pull in. Press down. 2 more. And last set. Turn. Push. Bring it in. And down. And turn. Push. Pull in. And down. Breathe in one more time. Press down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels slightly. And lower. My point, everything that I have externalized in a lot of our classes, I've just brought back inside. If you understand the fundamental movement, what am I doing? I'm going right side, left side. What am I using? Fundamentals of the movement. And you understand what your breath is doing to drive the movement. Right? Breathe in, breathe out. How does the breath drive that movement? Then when you only use the breath, not so much muscle, just the breath, right? You decide how much, how big, how small that movement is going to be. One of the skills that we gain with Qigong, and one of the skills that's wanted from Qigong and Tai Chi and all of the internal arts, is this ability to connect the breath with the energy, with the Qi, with the Jing, another level of energy, and to extend that through the body using the breath. That connection is fundamental to what we're trying to do in this practice. Being able to achieve it gives us some tools in the toolbox for healing our own bodies, and for those who practice it, for helping to heal others, and for understanding a whole lot better how our bodies work. That fundamental understanding. What am I doing? What muscles am I engaging? What do I have to do physically? What's my energy? Where's my energy go? What's the movement? What's the direction of force? Which muscles are engaged? All of these come together in our practice. I thank you for being here today. I thank you for listening to what I hope was helpful instruction, and for following me. I'll be here tomorrow. I may need to adjust a little bit what we're doing, what I had planned for tomorrow, just as I did for today. But I will be here tomorrow. We will have class tomorrow. And again, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. See you tomorrow.